Hi Pisces, I hope that everybody's doing well. I'm so happy to be here with you guys. So when I was doing the pre-shuffle, I was seeing the Ace of Cups, and I was also seeing the Fool as well. So what it looks like to me is that there may be somebody that you are connecting with or getting the opportunity to connect with. We're starting off with Seven of Cups and Nine of Pentacles. I feel like things are happening and there's a lot sort of up in the air right now that you're working through. But to have Nine of Pentacles, I think that you're good with this right now. Seven of Cups can sometimes feel disconcerting when we're in a spot where it's like, I want clarity right now, or I need an answer right now. But when you're in a spot where you're okay with like not knowing things yet, or like I'm figuring it out yet, Nine of Pentacles comes and is like, okay, like I'm just respecting the process right now. I'm sort of moving through this. And I feel like that may be a bit of a change for you, whereas before, maybe you could have approached something and been like, I need an answer right now, I need to know right now. But the way that, like, see how calm this person looks? Like, cool, calm, and collected. Moving through sort of an unknown or confusing situation here where you're not really completely positive of what's happening or where we're going, that sort of thing. But you just look like you're chilling here. You're looking relaxed. Seeing you also like really just minding your business and putting attention into the things that you feel are important to you right now. Here that Ace of Cups is again. Nine of Coins. You're in a spot that you appreciate being in. Eight of Pentacles. You're sort of tending to the things that are important to you that you've been working on. Ace of Wands looks like an additional opportunity that's popping up for you. That looks like it's going to just be like added on to what you already have going on. So Ace of Wands is like an additional door now that's opening. It may be happening at a bit of an unsure time for you. Yeah, this can be like generally something unsure going on within your life that you're like figuring out. It can just be a period where things are moving around and shifting and you don't have like all of the answers, but you also don't really need them right now. Like there may be questions that you have, but you know eventually they're going to be answered. Okay, so we're seeing Queen of Pentacles come out and I'm seeing Knight of Swords come out too. If you are this Queen of Pentacles, you could be reaching out to someone and communicating something with them. This would be like clarifying information that you have. It's about something that's currently unfolding. Energies can be reversed too. This can be someone reaching out to you. Okay. I'm seeing you working through an ending to get to the point of having sort of like a new beginning or a new opportunity. Like there's something that's about like the future or it's progression based. Because it seems to me like there's a conversation here that's being had about Ten of Swords. It feels like we're talking about something that had ended here. But to have Three of Wands, I feel like it may be about how that like impacts the future. Or there's been like space between, meaning like Ten of Swords and Three of Wands is sort of feeling like that happened then and now we're over here. Okay. This can also be an awareness too that something would be coming to a close or be coming to an end eventually. 10 of Swords, 3 of Wands. But what this is feeling like is that like something had closed out and you've made progress with it. So I do feel like this is something in the past that you've gotten further beyond. It's like, let's say that you're running a marathon right now, and at the 2-mile marker, this 10 of Swords happened, which means that there was like an ending, a cycle that closed out. It probably was painful. There was like suffering that happened, but it changed things for you. And now we're at mile 26 with the 3 of Wands, and you're like, wow, look at how far I've come. And like this 3 of Wands, see how it's sort of like, this is the progress that a person made. They're like looking back over like the whole journey that they took to get there. And I feel like this ending happened like in the past. So this person is sort of like looking back and being like, yeah, I remember at mile 2 how that thing closed out and how painful that was. So I feel like you're away from this now. Like you've made a lot of progress since, right? Like if you're at mile 26, there are 24 miles in between that whole thing happening, right? So a lot has changed. You're like in a different spot now, you know, you've learned things along the way. But I'm also seeing too, having this 5 of Swords and having this 3 of Swords here, and that can mean like, because of the attitude that somebody was in and like trying to protect themselves from getting hurt, there could have been pain that was manifested because of that. So it's like somebody being in a space where they're like ready to fight and ready to protect themselves, and this is like it's a defensive space to be in, but sometimes it gets offensive. Like sometimes we get on the offense and are tilting at windmills. It really just depends on the situation for us. But this is like a protective measure that we take of like, I'm prepared. You see this person like posturing over here towards this, being like, I want to make sure that I'm not getting hurt by this thing that I perceive is going to hurt me. But because of somebody being in this space, that could have manifested some sort of pain, because you don't see this and then this card comes out and then you see this card coming out. So it feels like because of somebody being in this space where they may have expected to get hurt, pain could have happened because of that. Like it could have been projected onto something. So there can even be an awareness of that. Could have also been issues with someone's feminine energy, with their receptivity. It's so funny, like as we're talking about there being an issue with the feminine energy and the receptivity, the divine masculine energy comes out. So it feels like needing to figure out how to ground this and deal with it in the word procedure is coming through. I'm smelling white Tic Tacs. I do feel like this is about self-restraint and also maturing through challenging circumstances where like pain had been involved. I'm seeing strong Aries energy here, Pisces. That's the only major arcana that we have here, Aries. I do feel that by you going through something here, there is something here about feeling protective over yourself because of maybe the pain that you experienced with somebody. But I'm seeing you be in the 5 of Swords, which can mean that you're like very... 5 of Swords, again, like even though you are like, this is a defensive move of like, I'm showing up in my armor because I want to make sure that I don't get hurt, it can also close us off. So because we're like protecting our hearts by putting the armor on it, it also doesn't allow our hearts to be open, and so we're not really connecting emotionally. So there's like this really big fear of perceived pain, and then figuring out like what is the like most mature even way for me to deal with this, for me to handle this. Like, how do I grow from this? Like, how do I sort of get through this in a way that like a role model would get through that? Because with the Emperor, it can be you trying to show up in a way where it's like, what would the most mature version of me do here? Like, what would the version of me that's like able to like handle my business, how would they show up and do this and handle this? And trying to tap into that very like adult energy of yours that you perceive yourself being. And like the best way to handle it, because when we see the Emperor, you see somebody that's not reactive. You see somebody that's sort of that like wise, grounded energy, the person that's trusted. They don't lose their cool, they're reliable, they're not acting out. They're somebody that they have things that they're looking out for. They have a lot of responsibilities. They're really able to hold things down regardless of what's going on. They're not going to panic, you know. It's that energy where it's like you feel like an energy of a safe haven. And so this is about cultivating that within you. Even though obviously there's stuff that you've gone through before that could have you shutting down your heart, but the being in the energy of your divine masculine, which all of us have the divine feminine and divine masculine, it's like a balance within us. You don't just have one of them, we have all of it. So like in order for you to integrate this, it's sort of figuring out how to continue moving through a situation even though something happened where it was very triggering to your ego. Five of Swords. Five of Swords I see like purely as being a card of ego. And again, like there's a reason why this is coming up. So it's not just like I'm in my ego for no reason. It's like I've been hurt before and I'm trying to protect myself here. For some of you, it's from this person, like this Emperor energy here. This can be a single person. It can be like a general vibe that you experience, or like an archetypal theme that you experience with masculine energies, but it really is about you stepping into your own masculine energy, which is interesting about this whole thing. Yeah, it's saying that you stepping into the energy of the Emperor is going to be helpful. So this is you thinking about your future, thinking about your family, thinking about what it is that you're building within your life, thinking about your reputation, thinking about your legacy. But it's especially how you're doing things and wanting to do things in a way where you feel like you're in your role model energy. That's what the Emperor is. It's somebody that like you look to and you're like, wow, that person is so respectable. Like I have so much respect for them. They're really like honoring themselves and the people that they interact with. And when you're in the energy of the Emperor too, it's like you know that you don't have anything to prove and you don't need to be reactive, and you know how to like be aware of and integrate your ego without it being without it getting the best of you. And so that's really what's going to help. It's like really ultimately handling things in a mature way. And again, like this looks different for each of us. Like some of us, we look at somebody handling a situation and we admire that. Others of us wouldn't look at that same person and think the same thing. So this is figuring out like your version of how to move through something in a way where you're like, wow, I'm really like I'm showing up in a way that I really respect myself for showing up in this way, and also I'm modeling the proper way how to do this for all of those that are around me observing my journey. So it's really, really important the way that you're moving through this, because it's not only for you. Emperor says you have responsibilities and you have people watching you that you are setting an example for. And so it's about acting like it and showing up in that way. Let me just look through this. Could have been something that happened that felt unclear. You, based off of your history, this could have brought something up for you where you felt unsafe, and so you went into like a very defensive energy. Because of wanting to protect what you have going on. But it looks like there is a conversation that was coming up. Hold on one second. Yeah, I'm seeing something about a painful conversation here. Is somebody sharing feelings that may be hard to be with, but I'm also seeing this has been being worked on. Like, this has the potential to be like a healing conversation, but it may have been something that like triggered you if you're this Queen of Pentacles. Because it could have been like, everything was going fine. Like, why did you have to bring that up? Like, this sort of thing. But I'm actually seeing that it's like really an opportunity for there to be healing, but you may have just felt triggered by this coming back up because it was something that hurt you. But I'm seeing that it's something that's being worked on. So maybe it's about like being able to dip into certain conversations that are challenging to have, that that seem like they're a means to an end anyway, with 8 of Pentacles and 10 of Swords. Because what I'm seeing is that as this concludes, you have the Emperor, which shows you having like matured, coming out on the other side of something, like in a very like wise, grounded energy. And I'm seeing an opportunity be in front of you. And you also know that there's like a future as well that's connected with this. Like, as the Emperor, you taking this opportunity, it's connected with the 3 of Wands, so it's not just a right now opportunity. This is a, like, I can run with this and make progress with this, and it's going to expand and it's going to grow. And the way that I'm handling things now is going to impact me and my future. And it's sort of like, if you walk through this door the right way, it's something that's going to be around for you. So you have to get into this mindset, because that's what the Emperor cares about. The Emperor is like, that's great that it's working right now, but I want to know, is it going to work like a year from now? Like, what's this going to look like 5 years from now? You know, it's not thinking about right now, it's thinking about your future as well. And I'm seeing that there's literally an opportunity in front of you that is connected with your future if you sort of like play your cards right as you move through this. If you can move through this in a grounded and mature energy, in a disciplined energy, without being reactive to things. That doesn't mean that you're not going to have feelings and thoughts that come up, but it's about knowing how to, it's about self-control, and it's about not acting out and not being reactive. I feel like that's the biggest thing, like with the Aries energy. And like for those of you that have Aries in your chart, or like you're interacting with somebody with Aries in their chart, or both, you know that Aries, when it is in its like less aware energy, that it can be very reactive, very impulsive, very quick to jump up and do things, and also like make very big changes and differences, and later on when everything's calm, look back and be like, I did all of that, or like maybe I reacted a bit too big. Like, it can be very, very dramatic and very explosive. And that's also like the purpose of Aries too, right? Because Aries is ruled by Mars. And Mars is a planet of like aggression and fighting. However, when we learn how to utilize this in a way where we become aware, where it becomes like a light energy that we've integrated into it, we understand how to wield it. So rather than it being our downfall and destructive to us, it helps us actually build instead. So it's about like the maturity and the self-awareness. So if you can connect with that energy of the divine masculine, this is going to be like a lasting opportunity for you, but you have to be in this energy. It's sort of like, yeah, you have to be channeling this energy in order for it to be a type of lasting opportunity for you. Because if you don't handle it in this energy, it's going to change the trajectory of things. So I'm sort of seeing your guides be like, this is really the time to model the type of behavior that you want, because it really makes all of the difference here with this door that you have in front of you. It's about moving through this in a mature, grounded, disciplined way where you're thinking about what you're doing in each moment and how that's going to impact you later down the line, because it will. Because, you know, sometimes we can act in a moment and then later on be like, if I would have known that it would have affected me today or in this way, I would have done things differently. Rather than having to do that, you be mindful right now so you don't have to regret things later on, okay? All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I am sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.